Hey guys, we're here in Bouckville, New York at Ray's Brothers Barbecue with singer-songwriter Alyssa Rose. Hi Alyssa. Hi. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you for hanging.
So tell us about your music. What kind of music do you do?
Well, it's been a journey. I started out kind of more of a country folk genre, and then lately I've been kind of trying to re-figure out my sound, so I've got a little bit of that, a little bit of blues, a little bit of jazz, a little reggae. It's kind of all over the place right now, but I'd like to think in a good way. Yeah.
Good. What is your musical background? Do you come from a musical family?
My mom plays violin and piano. She is a very talented musician. Doesn't play as much anymore, but I loved listening to her while I was growing up. She would just play on the grand piano downstairs, so definitely had it, growing up. And my dad was always listening to old folk music, so I knew Simon and Garfunkel and Joni Mitchell and all those since I was younger, which was great.
So you studied psychology in college, and then you went into music. So how did that happen?
Well, it wasn't a clean path, but, I don't really know where exactly it happened. I started playing music a little more in college, kind of in my free time, but it never was a career path in my mind. And then I got out of college and realized that I wasn't really going anywhere with psychology at the time because it was really hard to get jobs. So I kind of went down a road where I was in, banking and all these other random jobs, and I was getting a little bored, so I was like, maybe I should find something else to do with my time, and that's kind of when music started to come back in, and I realized that I could pursue that in a professional way as well, not just around the campfires with my friends.
That's great. So what sort of things do you do to improve your singing and your songwriting?
Singing, it took me a long time to learn that vocal warm-ups are a really important thing to do before singing, so little things like that. I'm self-taught, so I just kind of have been picking those things up along the way from other friends of mine. I definitely go see a lot of music too, and I'm kind of very cued into what the other musicians are doing, and I'm like, maybe I should do that too. So I learn on that, absolutely. With songwriting, I've definitely evolved a lot. If you were to look at a song 10 years ago that I wrote, you'd be like, whoa, okay. So it's good. I think just in time you get more experienced, even if you don't realize that you are. But I have also been taking more time lately to study the actual songs of musicians that I really love, to kind of get some ideas and pick up on what they've done. So a lot of learning from other people.
So when you write a song, how much do you put into your intended audience, or do you just write from your heart?
I'd say I write from my heart, more or less. I'm always thinking about the audience when I'm getting my performances ready. Like when I'm writing my set list, I'm like, okay, who am I playing for today? What will I play for them? But when I'm writing my songs, honestly, a lot of times I just press record on my phone and I just kind of say whatever comes to mind and play whatever comes to mind, and then I'll go back and clean it up a little bit after because I have some silly rhymes here and there. But yeah, definitely more from the heart. I feel like people relate to that more.
What's your favorite song that you belt out to in the car, shower, or karaoke?
Oh boy, there's a lot of these. When you said that, I have so many vivid memories of my best friend Allison and I. We sing a Meatloaf song, Paradise by the Dashboard Light, from start to finish. We belt that one out pretty well, from start to finish. So I'd have to go with that one. It's very intense. There's 4 different parts and it gets a little crazy.
Cool. Who are your musical inspirations?
Musical inspirations, that also honestly has kind of changed over time. I started out with Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan and kind of those classic folk singer-songwriters. Then I went through a bluesy phase. It was more Bonnie Raitt and this band, the Wood Brothers, and Nicky Bloom. Right now I'm in this beachy, acoustic sounding things. So one of my favorite singer-songwriters, her name is Tristan Prettyman. She's a huge influence. She's from San Diego, and she's just this really awesome, like, very positive lady. She's a surfer. She loves healthy foods. So she's been an inspiration in all walks of life. And then I cannot stop listening to Trevor Hall. If you haven't heard of him, you should definitely look him up. Trevor Hall. Yep, on repeat lately.
Where do you draw your inspirations from when you're writing your own music?
Naturally, I think a lot of my songs are stemmed from the emotions, heartbreaks, and just kind of like being on the road a lot. That inspired this first album that I'm recording tomorrow. All of that is kind of stemmed from loneliness and sort of the road life. But then lately I've kind of been channeling into a different way of writing, which is focused more on everyone as a whole. So like trying to be like send an uplifting message out through my songs. I've kind of been like shifting out of that sad, cry into the microphone genre, trying to get a little happier. Because I am happy.
Do you have a recording contract? Do you want a recording contract, independent or major?
That's a good question. No, I do not have one right now. I was offered one way back. I used to live on the West Coast, and I was on this random vacation in a little island off the coast of California this one weekend, and this guy from LA heard me playing and just kind of like offered one to me on the spot. But I was going to have to lock in for 5 years of my life, and he had all these ideas, and I was like, I don't know if that's me. So, yes, I do want a record contract, but I would probably wait until the right one comes along because I want to be able to do what I want to do and not have someone tell me, this is how you have to write your songs, and this is what you have to look like. Not for me, so.
Prince broke that.
Yeah,
you don't have to do that anymore.
Thank you.
Do you have your own CDs or albums?
Tomorrow I actually go into Subcat Recording Studios in Syracuse, and that will be my very first album ever. So I'm freaking out in all kinds of ways about that. So that'll be out later in the summer.
And where do you plan on selling? Where can people, well, if people wanted to find you now, where could they find you?
I'm on, if you go to my website, www.alyssarosemusic, all of my social media channels are there. So I have music posted on Facebook. I do Facebook Live feeds every so often where I'll just hit record and hang out with you guys on my practice sessions. And then I've got random videos on Instagram. I have a SoundCloud, YouTube. So there's definitely stuff up there, but I'm excited to have professionally recorded.
And then where do you plan on targeting your market for that?
Everywhere, hopefully, but I will be playing a lot around this area. I really want to market in the mountains, so up in the Adirondacks, and then I currently live in Burlington, Vermont. Technically, I haven't been there in a while, but definitely like to appeal to that kind of like outdoorsy crowd. I like playing shows outdoors and at breweries, so kind of sticking in that circuit. And then a friend of mine and I are actually planning a tour from Vermont to Colorado to Arizona and back for right around the time that I release it. So yeah, I'm freaking out about
But I was just going to ask you, what's coming up next?
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. Yep, first tour. Definitely first tour. So,
It's time for clickbait. Do you know what clickbait is? Clickbait is when you're on the internet and you click on a link and it takes you somewhere where you didn't want to go. And these are silly, off-the-wall questions that internet people want to know. Is there one thing you constantly lose?
my cell phone, definitely. I have a habit of leaving my cell phone in bathrooms, like everywhere. So, yeah, definitely that. I'm pretty good about everything else because I hate losing things. Like, it makes me crazy when I lose things. I go nuts. So, but for some reason, you know, one of the most important things that I have, I do this.
It's a me day. What do you do?
Yoga. First thing I do when I wake up, cook a huge, super healthy meal. Then I'll usually go and exercise because I do not always do that on the days that I work. And then I'll come back home and work on music all day, just writing songs, making my songs a little better, practicing. And then ideally something outside for the rest of the day. Or all of that could be.
That's so cool. What cheers you up when you're in the blues?
cheers me up when I'm in the blues. Dark chocolate, Netflix, naps, and obviously music. Also just being around my friends and family. I've got a really good support group around me, so I've got a bunch of great people I can just kind of call up and be like, hey, I'm having a real crappy day. Can you help me? So,
well, that's good.
Yes.
If you could take 3 famous people, dead or alive, to dinner, who would that be?
Whoa. Trevor Hall and Tristan Prettyman, because they're like my 2 favorite musicians right now. Wow, and the third person, that's a really good question. I was gonna say like my parents or something, but I can only pick one. I would say my best friend, because I would just want all the people in the same place. So my friend Kayla. Yeah.
Well, guys, it's been so great hanging with Alyssa Rose today. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, and let us know what you think of today's show and our guests. You can also check our guest link below. Remember to subscribe, log in, and stay tuned to see who we're hanging with next.
Last time I felt like I was doing things right. Now I'm not saying that it's all been bad since then, but they say it'll get better, and I'm asking when. I think it's time to put up my own fight. I'm turning around, changing course, took a wrong turn back there at the fork. Whoa, I'm going right back to where I started. Can you hear, did you hear me now? I'm going right back to where I started, and there ain't no changing turn. There are some things that I've done that I'm not proud of, and instead of falling in, I'm falling out of love. I wonder if the smiles on their faces are off the show. These days I'm trying to get better in every way, trying to grow and trying to change and learn from my mistakes. Take it day by day. Right here and now is all I know. I'm turning around, changing course, took a wrong turn back there at the fork. Whoa, I'm going right back to where I started. Did you hear me now? I'm going right back to where I started, yeah. And there ain't no shame in turning around. There are a few things that I surely do without. There are a few years of my life that I could damn sure live without. I'll take these things that I have learned, I'll hold them tight, and I will turn until I'm spinning, screaming, crying, kicking, singing. I will be so damn forgiving. In these waters I keep swimming, gonna change my thinking, slow my breathing. When I find it, I'll be singing. I will bring it where it's missing. Yeah.